I think Dragon Ball has changed the culture for a multitude of ways, but the main thing I would say is that people are super into power scaling specifically because of Dragon Ball Z. You didn't hear about people saying, yo, this is better or this is stronger versus this until Dragon Ball Z came into the game. True. So there wouldn't be power scaling culture unless there was Dragon Ball Z in the first place.
I'm gonna go video games. If you were a teen, middle school age, around the time when like the Dragon Ball Z games came out, you were playing them. Budokai, Tenkaichi, like.
You were breaking the nub off the top of your controller just trying to go like this.
Facts.
You had the battle.
Facts.
Going crazy.
Yeah. Even if you wasn't watching the show, you was playing the games.
Me, it's music. I feel like Dragon Ball has had the biggest impact, especially hip hop and R&B, with Frank Ocean with mentioning Majin Buu, Chance the Rapper mentioning Krillin, Thundercat with Dragon Ball Do-Rag, exactly. So just like I feel like Dragon Ball has the most references in hip hop of any other anime. So like that alone, I feel like is one of the biggest influences.
It kept the hood safe for a period of time. I remember growing up, like I would walk down the block and see like the Crips and the Bloods just chilling out, and like 3 o'clock hits, you don't see none of those niggas out on the block.
Like 106 in Park.
Like none of them were on the block, and I was just like, okay.
I think for me, what I'm seeing is that it really introduced the West in a lot of ways on a mainstream scale to anime. When you get a situation where people are in every neighborhood in America, kids are screaming at the top of their lungs trying to go Super Saiyan. When you get to a situation where Codename Kids Next Door and Billy and Mandy are having Dragon Ball parodies in their show, that's influence. Now, it took some time because a lot of people were pretending they wasn't watching Dragon Ball still. But a lot of people were watching it, eventually embraced it. That brought people to Naruto and all the things that came after it.
Honestly, it permeates all of our pop culture, because I'm thinking back, what show back when I was 6 years old would have me going outside, screaming Kamehameha, like play fighting with my friends? And on top of that, if it wasn't for Dragon Ball Z, I wouldn't have this big community of people that love anime the same way I do. And if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, a lot of people wouldn't be connected through this community that we are today.
I would definitely say the martial arts game, definitely. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be in my crib with my brothers and we'd be ready to go to toe-to-toe watching Dragon Ball. Oh, absolutely throwing hands, absolutely. Like, I would definitely say it really did an impact on everybody in terms of niggas wanted to look like Goku or niggas wanted to look like Trunks.
I'll go first?
No.
I think about the way that Dragon Ball influenced pop culture. I think of shows like Sonic. There wouldn't be no Super Sonic without, Dragon Ball Z, without, original Super Saiyan transformation. Any transformation I think of now, I think it all came here because of like the way that Dragon Ball Z first introduced it and the way they kind of carried it throughout the show.
Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, they served as gateway drugs, Like, people who didn't really know that they had a taste for anime, they'd be like, oh, but I really like Dragon Ball Z. And then you tell them that that's an anime and they're like, ah, shit, well, I guess I'll fuck with that. And like that, you have enough of those conversations where you start to realize that that's really what bridged the gap between people thinking that anime was weird into anime becoming like this cool cultural phenomenon.
When it comes to Dragon Ball, it was one of those animes where you did not necessarily even have to watch it to see it around. It influenced a lot of things, down to like if you were a gamer, there's different games that was inspired by it as well. If you watch different shows, different animes, you'll always see Dragon Ball within it. It's just one of those animes that just capture your attention regardless of what was going on within it. We wish you came.
But I will say with the recent passing of him, especially, you will see on Twitter, across all platforms really, just artists in general coming together and showing all their fan art, and how Akira and Dragon Ball has influenced their artwork since they were small children. A lot of people were digging through like old sketchbooks and old like digital art to post, and then like looking at the old stuff that they used to do. As an artist, I connected with that like heavily, like trying to replicate that style, and like seeing an artist like pushing out so much work weekly.
When it comes to anime, because that's kind of my pop culture, I know it's always stated that he's like the father of modern shonen, but like I feel like it can't really be stated enough, because the tournament arcs, especially, because those are one of my favorite tropes in anime. If that shit got a tournament arc, I'm locked in. Without Toriyama, like, we wouldn't have those. And it's like, what would Hunter x Hunter look like? What would Yu Yu Hakusho wouldn't even be a thing. Like, one of my favorite arcs in One Piece, Dressrosa. Every tournament arc is lit. It really put
Toonami on the map.
Yes.
And Toonami,
Because we got to bring it back to here.
we got to bring it back. And I think, was it Tom, the little robot man?
Yeah.
He even said it is the first show that really brought viewership to, you know, the program and whatnot. And
yep.
Toonami for a lot of people was like the introduction to anime. That was our introduction into this world of chaos, fantasy, like lore, like all of that, and it really created our first like childhood heroes, at least for me.
I think Dragon Ball has influenced pop culture in a way that it is one of the most recognizable animes that's out there. The colors orange and blue, it even has influence over like graffiti that I've seen in the street. Like it's very rare that you see animes outside of like Dragon Ball or Naruto that are like recognized on such a large scale.